Hey guys, just wanted to come in here and say hello. I've been told I don't do enough videos, and I recently been writing or attempting to write a book. Right, I'm on chapter 5 of the book. I've framed it all out, and in the book, I haven't named it yet, but the book is, when I was a kid, I saw a short cartoon on a magic paintbrush, and it was like just the most amazing thing in the world. And I've spent my whole life wanting a magic pencil. And this book is kind of the way in which I built my magic pencil. And I don't want to share what I'm about to share because I want to brag. What I want to do is kind of, I'm sitting even now as I record it, right? I'm sitting staring out my office window down to the ocean, and I'm living in a house that I absolutely love. And, I live in a part of the world that I love, and I get to go to work every day doing something that really does fucking matter. And it's something I enjoy doing. It's something I'm excited to get out of bed and get better at. I have a family I adore, and we get to go do amazing experiences, whether it be travel or experiencing new things all the time. I have a wife that's ambitious and is everything I've ever wanted. I tell everybody, when I played the game of like, who would you want, that type of thing, that unattainable person, well, she was it, right? So she was my princess. She was the one that I get to spend my life with her now. And so when I say all these things, I don't say them to, talk about how, to brag. What I'm doing is to show kind of what's possible, because I didn't come from wealth, right? I don't have like an amazing education background. In fact, like if I've got any old high school teachers and any old uni teachers that are listening to this, they're like, dude wasn't that smart, right? I don't come from the Lucky Sperm Club. I didn't win any genetic lotteries. I am just an average dude that grew up on a dirt road named after his grandfather. That had a father that, in between his business failures was just working from job to job. A mom that went and worked in a factory until she had an accident one day at work and couldn't go work in that factory anymore. Um, if you look back just 8 years ago, right? Like 8 years ago, I was drowning in debt. My family was broken. I had zero opportunities. Everything in my life was hurting, like everything, right? I was in some of the darkest days of my life, like thinking the darkest thoughts that anybody could ever think, right? Fortunately, and I won't share that story here. I had a few things, a few angels kind of show up in my life at that time, and I was able. But there was something even then that I wouldn't let go of. There was this hunger that itched within me. There was this desire, this burn, this drive that kind of came up out of that helped me build a bridge from where I was, which was not a great place, to where I am now, which is far from perfect, but a lot further towards my dreams than I was certainly at that time. And we all have the ability to build that bridge, right? Hunger is something we all have access to. It's a gift, and it often starts really small. And it starts from the most humble beginnings, right? It usually starts from something that doesn't feel quite right, doesn't feels like it's missing almost, right? Like an empty void in your life, and it could be something really small. It might have been as a child, like a toy that you desired. That was certainly mine. It was no big gaudy type mission. It was just that I couldn't afford the toys I wanted. That's why I drew. That's why I wanted a magic paintbrush, right? Was for my toys to come to life. And I for some people it might come from a meal they couldn't afford, or an experience they couldn't afford. It might come from a fight they heard behind closed doors. It might come from something they weren't good at that they desperately wanted to be good at. It might come from this lack of somebody, like almost like an envy type thing. They saw something of somebody, and they made a connection. Oh, because this person has that, that's why they have the thing I really want. It often starts, and hunger is often, when we start, that hunger that kind of comes out of it, it's often, that hunger, that drive that hits you just is to end your own suffering, right? You just want to find a way so that you don't have to experience that anymore. But if you let it, if you really kind of let hunger kind of sit and make you uncomfortable, it evolves. And it evolves in a way where you get this desire not just to end it for yourself, but to make sure nobody ever has to go through that again, right? It becomes this desire to go change the world, right? That's what hunger does for us. And it's something you should lean into. And it's something you want to, like, what was missing? Don't justify it to yourself. I'm not asking you to blame anybody. Blame is a black hole. But what I'm asking you to do is, what did you desire? What did you want? What did you really want? I didn't have money growing up, and everybody that I looked at that I thought had a better life than me, and that wasn't accurate. But I always present like they have money, we don't. That's why they get that, right? That's why they have that. And like from a young age, I was like, I want to have money, right? So I want to go make a difference. I want to go create value. I hated feeling like I wasn't good enough for people, right? So I wanted to create something that made people feel like they were good enough, right? Something that simplified it. Like if you had a desire for something, you should have it. Not that you deserve it. Do you deserve it? I want to like, look, you're alive, you're breathing, you woke up on the right side of the ground today, you deserve it. So let's go fucking get it. That's what I wanted in my life. And that comes from a hunger, a desire, an emptiness that felt like at that time in my life, I didn't have those things. And so hunger is this powerful, powerful key that can start to unlock what you want.